Y'all can hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Yeah, it was echoing. Y'all ain't hear like double playing?
Is it still echoing?
Nah, it's not echoing no more. Lil, you can hear me? Let me put him in the chat, man. You can hear us? He talking about hold on. You can hear us, Lil? We can't hear you. You can everything good on this end. We can't hear him. Ah,
Hello?
yeah.
All right. What we
Yeah, I hear
waiting
you
on?
now.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
We're
think you
waiting on.
called me. I was on the phone with you when I entered, so I don't think it got my mic.
Oh, that was. Cause I was like, bro, we can't hear you.
So, Vernon, who getting fined today?
Huh?
I said, who getting fined today?
Fine.
Yeah, I think it's O-Dog getting fined today.
Why you sound so low, dog?
Yeah, I couldn't hear him.
I sound
Yeah,
low?
we can't. Yeah, we can't hear you.
I sound good in mine.
We having all type of. It's the devil, dog. We gotta.
Y'all can
Brother,
hear
you
me
can
for
hear me,
real?
fine.
I can
I
hear
Yeah,
can hear
you.
you
you
fine.
like low, like real low.
Let me go back out and come back in.
Let me put technical difficulties, dog. We back in 5. Yeah, figure it out, dog. Vernon, but you can hear me straight, huh? Vernon, you can hear me straight?
Yeah.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
bet.
Can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know what you did. What you did?
It was on my iPhone mic. I had to switch it to this mic.
Oh, I was like, boy.
Yeah, I think maybe when LV was trying to fix the background, maybe he clicked on that or something.
Oh, it went out.
Well, what do you want, my boy? Got little ruffles beside me.
Who?
Little dog.
Oh, you got another dog?
Well, came with the family.
Oh. All right, bro. I just posted the story, bro. So you can repost it.
I don't want to go back and go back in because it might mess up the thing.
Oh, yeah. I just had to repost it because
Mm-hmm.
back in 5. Cause this, well, it kept repeating. Y'all ain't hit
Oh,
that, bro? It kept repeating.
nah, I ain't hear no repeat.
Yeah, it kept repeating everything you were saying. I was saying, I was like, dang, what is
She said
going
she's
on?
seeing 3D. Wow.
Huh?
Now I'm singing a song.
Vernon, you can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Why Vernon sound a little far.
No, he
Let's
sound
see.
good to me.
All right, let me turn up a little bit. All right, bet. All right, we can get started now then. I'm gonna drop the what's the name?
Oh Lord, my bad.
Not literally drop something.
I know that was funny. I didn't even mean that.
Oh Lord.
Uh,
Oh golly. Hold on. All right. For the go. Boom, boom.
Trigger happy media.
Welcome to No Cuff, No Change podcast, where we keep it real, authentic, challenge perspectives, educate the past, present, and future generations. This is your host, Old Black.
Your host, Liv. How y'all feeling?
Man, what's going on, y'all? We had a little technical difficulties, but we back.
Back in action.
Man, we got a special guest back today, man. He can go. I think y'all know who he is already. He can go ahead and introduce himself again for everybody that don't know.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vernon Headley, PhD candidate, University of Central Florida, majoring in sociology.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Yeah. Everybody good, man?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes,
I think it's time. I think it's for a mental check-in, dog. Real quick. This episode shouldn't be that long. Do a mental check-in. Vernon, you ain't never did a mental check-in with us, huh?
No, what is that?
Okay, well we do rate 1 through 10, and what is 3 areas or is it 4, Lou? I forgot.
I think we've been getting confused. I think it's like 3.
Yeah. Yes, I think it's 3 areas: financial, mental, and family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you rate it 1 through 10. Then if you want to elaborate, you can elaborate. If you don't, you don't. We could talk about it a little bit, get stuff off your chest. You don't got to talk about it, but you can just rate it. But I can go first. Let's say family. My daughter doing a lot better. So I say everybody good, healthy. I say I'm at a good 8. You know what I'm saying? Family good. I ain't hearing no bad news, of like everybody healthy, good. So we good. Financially, I'm at, let's see, still making moves and stuff. I could say I'm at a 7, not 2, just doing what I need to do. And mentally, today, for the past couple of days, I've been at like an 8. I've been straight. I've been, trying to control what I can control. That's it. So whoever want to take it next.
I'll take it. Financially, good. Doing like a good solid 7.5. Not where I was, but I ain't both negative and positively. So yeah, doing some good things. Like I said, I put you on that podcast. That's really been, help me further understand what kind of moves you need to make, and like how you need to make it happen, and so it's so like you're saying, mentally, I'm good. I'm feeling good. I don't know. That's a tricky one, man. I don't know. It's
okay
down.
to be up and down.
Yeah, I'm not down.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's more potential for me to grow. And what's the last one? Oh, family. Family's good. Family's like a 9, man. Like
that's good. That's a blessing.
Yeah, son in honor roll. He got for the whole year. Yeah, he exceeding all his classes. Yeah, he's doing his thing, man. So I can't complain at all, man. Life is good.
That's good, man. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Vernon.
Well, families. Families are 8 because we check in with family. Finance, it's a 5, man. I'm a student. Yeah, man, I'm struggling life right here, man.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
Yeah, 5, man. For now.
Yeah.
For now. Mental, man. I stay in my word, so that encouraging me spiritually. So that's I'm gonna go with a 9 because my mind could be other places, but he give you perfect peace as long as your mind stayed on thee. So Isaiah 26:3. So I just stay focused on that.
Yeah.
So I stay in my word, pray, You know, God, you know, give me a sound mind, sound heart, new direction. You know, understand His will. So that's thing for me. So learn now to remove fear, replace it with trust. So
okay. Ron, ain't you you a pastor too, correct? Or you been mentored?
I'm not a pastor at all.
Oh, I'm like, what? I thought you was the what it is, old reverend.
No, who told you
deacon,
that?
dog. I thought he was a deacon, right? Ain't nothing wrong, deacon. Nah,
I don't even do that style. No.
uh-huh.
That's like you mess up. That's like you mess up your throat. Nah.
No Diddy, dog.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Y'all planting that seed.
Oh,
you know, it's funny. It's funny. It's fun fact. I was going to do my master's. Currently, I was going to do my master's. After I got my undergraduate degree in sociology. I was going to do my master's in divinity. I was going down that road, and I was going to do another master's in theology and do a PhD in historical theology, church history. I was going down that road, man, and the Lord was like, "No, I was hurt." I tell you, I was hurt, man. I tell you, I was studying theology hard, Christian theology, man, from Dr. King to Dietrich Bonhoeffer, John Calvin, St. Augustine, Karl Barth, Thomas Aquinas, Martin Luther. Like I was studying, man. You know, I was studying great. So people like, oh man, but I stay in my word every day. So I do believe you need to be trained. If you first of all, you need to be called into the ministry. Yeah, and you need to be. God need to call you, choose you for that. That's a spiritual calling that not many people receive, but many people want to have, and many people don't use it correctly. Right? Some people just go into the ministry so they want to get rich and be popular, and that's how they fall easy. But when you rooted and grounded and God call you, right? So, I mean, that's people's spiritual life, and people, that's one thing the church need to do is, we need to train ministers because ministers are leaders too. And you don't have to be, you don't have to have a title to be a leader, man. Leader should be something that it's heartfelt. We need local leaders in our community. We need mentors. We need father figures. We need all those things.
Yeah, most definitely. And, we were raised up in church. People don't know me and you.
Yeah, man, my parents were pastors, man.
We was
always in church.
Well, we was
always singing,
and we was musicians. So it was
all right. You play the drums, I play the guitar, Victor play the keyboard, organ, and piano. Always practicing.
Yeah, boy. See, a lot of people don't know that about me.
Always.
Yeah,
we used to sing from one, then go to the next church, then go to the next church.
You ever been in church all day?
All day. Like we was on church tour.
We was on church y'all got your own band going.
We did. We did
have our own band.
The Headley family. The Headley family. That's what he's called it, man.
It was 3 trios.
Damn. Yeah, I was trying to get a demo sign and be that type, man.
I run from it now. I be like, all your childhood, bro. That's all you had to do. All your childhood. That was, man. You seen Michael Jackson family, right? All right.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, and that's what he did. He, certain parts of it really wasn't truly healthy for us.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and it was traumatizing in some ways because we never had a childhood. It was school, work, church.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to, even people pull me aside now, like, man, Vernon, man, even now, I'm balancing. After I finish my PhD, I'm going to just allow the Lord to lead me with that direction. Now, if He lead me to serve in the ministry, I'll just do that. Yeah. Of course, I have goals. I mean, I love education, man.
We could tell. We could definitely tell.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it, man. I just finished one book today.
Look at all them books behind him, man. You got a library back there.
I just finished this book, Introduction to Black Studies.
Oh, okay.
I just finished it today.
A book. Speaking of book, going into our topic, I just started this. I don't know y'all can see it. Hold on.
No, that's blurry, my boy.
Oh, you can't
just
see
tell
it.
us the title.
Is it Incarceration Portrayal?
Yep.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Started reading that, man.
I'm about to read this one. He's the first black man to get a graduate degree in Harvard.
Oh wow, what's the name?
Richard Greener.
Richard Greener.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I told him we're gonna start a book club now.
Oh yeah, that's another thing we got to do, man. We gotta. I've been reading a lot of stuff about the black community, especially with the what's going on right now, man. I love education, man. I tell you, it's nothing better. I'm glad I didn't try to go into a different direction within music, boy. Like I said, no sir. You're gonna have me for life. You ain't gonna do that to me. You ain't gonna do that.
No, sir. Man. So for us, speaking of education, we're gonna try to go back in. We ain't finna try. We finna go back to the basically the episode we talked about last week. There was a couple questions that came in, and also I feel like we can make it a little more simpler for some people. You know what I'm saying? And because we always want to educate, and from our experience, you know what I'm saying, even from our knowledge as well. So going back to politics, we're gonna talk about politics and try to see if we can dig a little deeper from the questions we got. We got one. We can start off with the first question, so we ain't gotta prolong it. Is there, if there were only two things that we should know about politics, what are they?
Yeah, these for you, Vernon.
Yeah, what you think? If there was two things, if because you done did your research, you done.
But it actually is more than two things you should know about politics. But
yeah, most definitely.
There's more than two things, but I think one of the most important is researching the political candidates in the local, state, and the national election. You got to do your background research, and look at their policies, what they want to pass. Look at their agenda, what they're talking, their future agenda, who they're associated with, right? And also too, I think what's more importantly, if you want to learn, so you research the candidate, but you yourself have a conversation with them too. I think the problem is with us, sometimes we sometimes we do research or we reread information, but do we go out and have conversations with them? Do we speak with them, right? Do we try to get to know them? Because at the end of the day, it's important to try to build relationships with your political leaders, political candidates. It's very important.
So when you say that, right, you say, okay, reach out, because a lot of people they'll think, okay, reach out, president. A lot of people think just president sometimes. He's like, oh, we can't get to that individual. But there's also local, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Individual.
Yeah. Local, state, people, city councilmen, state representative, senators, governors, like reach out and have conversations or talk to their cabinet members and have conversations and talk to them, right? And let them know that, what is it? How can you benefit us?
Yeah,
right? Definitely. What makes you different from any other candidate? Right? How are we going to improve 2 years under the senator or 6 years under the senator and 4 years under the governor? How are we going to improve under your leadership? What is the future for us as Floridians or Californians? What is the future for us? And they need to be able to give you, maybe not have answer to all the questions, but give you a synopsis or an abstract.
Yeah.
What the future plan is. You can't just be talking out of your mouth without a strategy, without a plan. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I think we need to be honest with people. It's not telling. I'm tired of politicians, and that's why a lot of people call them liaticians. We need to stop telling people what they want to hear and what they need to hear. That's another thing.
Well, they know that's how they get the votes. They tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah,
but that's how they get in there.
Yeah, but we know the truth takes you further than a lie. We know that truth will take you further in life than a lie. You know, if you're gonna go, the lie can get you built upon because you got to keep telling lies that lie, but the truth gonna come out anyway, and it's gonna make you look silly. But the truth is better. It's better to be honest with the voters than lie to them. I mean, don't just say, "Hey, this is my plan. This is what I'm gonna do." Because I'm gonna be honest with you. African Americans have political mistrust too. It's not medical mistrust, but we have political mistrust. I mean, the situation with Georgia right now, what voter suppression, and that policy was passing right now. See, the more if you suppress a lot of voters, especially minorities, the more certain individuals get to vote for a different candidate. Now I saw this Vivek Ramaswamy, former presidential candidate, and this individual told him, I love you because you're very, very intellect. You're smart. You're brilliant. You're not like Black Americans. And she said, she's white when she said this too. She said, the reason why I wouldn't vote for you because you're Indian. So let that sink in. And that's something I had to realize is like, do us as voters have good intentions? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if another thing you should learn about politics, it's just some people gonna stick with their party no matter what, whether it's
they're gonna ride or die. Yeah,
they're gonna ride with that party. Like they treat their party better than their marriage. I'm serious. They treat it better than anything else, right? And I'll take it a step further. Sorry to say this, but in the history of this country, we never seen an individual as a president, especially since I've been alive, that news media talk about over the last decade. Every news media has to say something about Donald Trump. Every news media. We've never seen that before. In the world of politics, he came from nothing and made something, right? Now, do I think we're in a dangerous democracies on the line? Of course. Because not everybody's happy with Biden. And a lot of people don't even want Trump back in office. I have my reasons why I don't want him in back in either. Because there's certain things he done tried. Like, we know you guilty. And there's certain things Biden done did that he didn't held his promise to. So we're in a tough situation right now where we're back. But this is the most important election in the 21st century. What we're going to do. So two things I always tell people is, learn your political candidates.
Yeah.
Research them, especially in the local election. See, I don't know why people just go for the national election. Local elections matters too. State elections matters too. Go out there and talk to them. Once they passing out flyers, you go out there and talk to them. If they having city meetings and all that, you go in attendance. Just like parent-teacher conference, that parents, the school meetings and all that, parents go there because why? They want to make sure their child gets the best education and they are enlightened and they are communicated with as a community. We as community need to do the same thing because white people do it all the time.
Yeah.
Why we're not doing it, right? We need to go out there and do it more. So we can't talk about we want this for us when we're not going out there, putting in time, asking questions, and see if this is the right candidate for us because our vote matters too.
Yeah, you're right. So that moved on to the next question. You just basically, when you said go out, talk to them and things like that, you said do research on them. That goes to the next question. Where can we find information on politicians? And where should we look? Like, say if this person just getting started, like an 18-year-old just getting started. Like, okay, he don't go to the city council, or, you know what I'm saying, go to the meetings or go to the walkthrough. He said, okay, where can I start digging up some information on these individuals, these politicians? Then after what I found out.
One of the biggest things I've learned now, that I've learned, and I wish I was really educated upon during my, especially stages of my adolescent years. It's important for their parents to teach their children at a certain age what's going on with society. Why? Because they're the future. Parents need to teach their children how to learn and discern various politicians and politics in general. We need to teach about American government in schools, the 3 branches. We need to teach about that. The importance of chief and commander and the judicial office, Supreme Court, all those things. But the parents themselves need to be setting an example to educate their children. Give them textbooks, read, have them sit down and watch speeches, have them, learn, the history of the city that they were born in, the history of the state they were born in, the different politicians and what their policies and what they were doing, or just in general. You're not going to learn them all, but you should be aware of what's going on. Because the problem is now children are being more educated within social media than they are within the schools.
Yeah.
Because they spend more time on social media.
Especially like those ads. That's what I was gonna say. Like,
especially
those ads that they put, especially the competitors, they put out like all the little laundry.
You talking about politicians?
Yeah. So like, if they're going against this person, they'll say like, "Don't vote for Jack because Jack 2 years ago Jack voted this down and he won." So they and that's where like a lot of people get there. And that's when I'm like, okay, well, damn, he's showing. You see Jack on his little campaign, he's saying, I do this, I do that, I do this. And then the person that's going against him is like, nah, Jack did this, he did that, they did this, they did that. So it's like, that's why it's like, even when you're looking up stuff, when you're doing your research, like it's hard to discern, like, okay, what's factual. I mean, honestly, you can go for like what bills they passed or what bills they're trying to pass, things like that. But it's hard. It's hard to get by.
Us too. Celebrities also play a big role in how people get information about politics too, right? Because what is the statistics of celebrities and an ordinary citizen going to the White House? Who's going to most likely go to the White House first? Celebrities, because of the power dynamics and and the influence that they have, right? So I say all this. Taylor Swift told everybody, don't vote for Donald Trump, go for Biden. And you have some other celebrities say, don't go for Biden, go for Trump, right? You have all these individuals who will tell you that, right? And I think that's the problem that we're seeing right now. We also have propaganda. So when I say learn to discern, we have to really understand, because conspiracy theories is a real thing. That's a real thing, right? It's false information. It's what people believe. Oh, the government, our votes don't matter. The government, they're gonna choose who the president is. That's lies. Our votes do matter. It matters, right? It matters. We know it matters. The problem is that the more we get all this false knowledge and false information and false ideologies, we become victims of, just voting or not participating because other people are not participating too. I always say this. People have a tendency to say, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care.
Yeah.
And what about your friend? What about your next door neighbor?
What about
your other family members? What about your significant other? What about her family? What about his family? Right? What do you mean? Like, when we talking about information, how much information you consume? And this is the question you got to ask people 18 to 25, especially in different demographics and around the world. How often are you on social media? Right? Like, you do a survey, 6 to 8 hours, that's a shift. What information are you looking at? Are you looking at information that's trending on TikTok? And if you are, is it bits and pieces? Did someone change it up? Because you got people who edit these type of things. I'm gonna tell you the best money you can make. You can, and it's sad at the same time, you can make money off promoting propaganda. $1 million worth of propaganda. They be straight up lies, and people will take it and trend it, and be so much lies. And I think the problem is right now with this generation, we allow social media to just consume them and not really educating our kids. Like, hey, listen, you choose who you want to, who you want to vote for, But let me tell you the history of the Republican Party and the history of the Democratic Party or the Independents or the Progressive, right? Let me just give you a well-rounded history lesson of this, right? And I think it's very important that politicians, they talk about the young generation, but do you go to the schools? Do you go to the college? Do you go to community?
We're not talking about the rich schools. You know what I'm saying? I said we're not just necessarily talking about the rich schools. You're going to schools that got all the money and the good education system.
Right. Yeah. But even I'll say this. Go to the, I think the problem is, like I said this before, one thing I do know, status matters in this country. It matters in the world. And it's sad to say that, but status do matter. Like I said, you'll get more support from people who are rich than people who are poor because they'll give you more, right? Poor people are trying to make it day by day. But we do know we need to make a well-rounded tour. Start from the bottom and work your way up. Because the poor people need you more. The taxes for the rich, they're going to have that argument. But the poor people need resources, opportunities for health, education, employment, right? We need for the justice system. We need it for, inflation, access to food, neighborhood, crimes, right? Neighborhood safety, right? We need proper things that can help, for the kids that can supply them so they can have a better future. We need things that can accommodate people, especially people of color. We need those things that can accommodate them. So when we find information, and so some people, another thing we don't talk about is too, some people don't have access to internet. Some people don't have access to social media, right? There's people who's living in this country that don't have access to it, right? And some people are not aware what's going on. Some people just hear information word of mouth, right? So those are the things we got to be, the president and people within leadership positions need to take that into consideration. They need to. That's a necessity. You need to take that into consideration because if you don't take into consideration, I'll say this. You can't talk about this country is for all Americans when all Americans don't feel valued.
Yeah.
You can't talk about the land of the free and the home of the brave where people don't have free access to certain things. You can't talk about, this land is your land, this land is my land. When certain people are struggling, it's homelessness, right? People don't even live in the land; they live in the streets. They're struggling for food. They're starving. You can't talk about, we are the people when majority of the people are struggling and living in poverty, right? Classism exists. Why is that billionaires cultivate $5.6 trillion? That's 65 million households. What are we doing? So I think, when we talk about, and politics does play a role in that too, but when I think we talk about politics first as a community, and we're Black men, educate ourselves. You need education. I don't care what no one says. You need it. It's been proven, statistic studies, you need it, right? Malcolm X done said it. Frederick Douglass done said it. Booker T. Washington done said it. You had W.E. Du Bois and him and, the infamous Talented 10th. I know people had a problem with that, but I knew he was going with that. He done said it. We need education. Dr. King done said it. You need education. Education is important. Ida B. Wells, Anna Julia Cooper, Shirley Chisholm. You need education.
Yeah.
You need it. Education is something, it's a requirement that you need to have because can't nobody control you if you're educated. Can nobody manipulate you if you're educated and you can think for yourself? What did Malcolm X said? I write my own words and I think my own thoughts. That's what educated people do.
My dad used to say, education is a must.
Yeah, education. Yeah. He said it all the time. You got to put the mud in it.
Yeah.
But, when you educate yourself, and also, too, education is broad. Each and every day, you're going to learn something new. Right? You learn something new about your children. You learn something new about life. Learn something new about information. You learn something new, right? I mean, every day it's a teachable moment for us. We don't know everything in the world, but we should learn something about the world every day, right? So I think that's something that we should be looking for and understanding, and we should take advantage of it. There's some countries right now, women are not allowed to get educated.
Mm-hmm.
There's some countries right now that, children are working in, child labor, can't even go to school. Mm-hmm. Children are slaves, right? And we as a culture, as a community, we had to fight for education. If y'all notice, with us as a culture, what set us apart, for everything we had to get, we had to fight for.
Yeah.
Just
like voting. We had to fight for voting.
Even the post-Reconstruction we had to fight to even prove people we were human beings.
Yeah.
These talking about we subhuman. So when I talk about people, and when people talking about this and that, man, educate yourself. Learn about yourself. I said, Charles Barkley said something, and I'll never forget. He said something on Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay. He said, we need to better ourselves on how, and it's in a broad of, politics and everything, but he's talking about income and finance. He said, if I'm one person, why am I buying 4 cars? It's only one person. I need to buy 1 car. I don't need 4 or 5 houses. If it's just me, I need to buy 1 house. Save my money. I say all this to say this. Instead of you buying Jordans, instead of you buying the Gucci's and Balenciagas and all these, well-brand of clothes and clothing line, and instead of you buying watches and jewelry and Rolex and everything and cars, get yourself a book and read.
Yeah, that's not expensive.
Information is not in the Rolex; it's in those pages.
Yep.
And I think people need to understand: the more you read, the more you learn, the more enlightened you will be, right? And it changes your whole perspective of life. Can't nobody. It's an honorable thing when someone says, "You know what? Let me take time and learn this," instead of saying, "Let me take time and spend this." No, learn.
Yeah.
You notice that we have a lot of popular people who are politicians and training and all that. We still talking about Aristotle. Aristotle been dead for how many years?
Yeah. I think you're going to the pulpit, Vernon, on this one. I'm going in this.
Like he considered one of the pioneers of politics, right? We talking about Socrates. Socrates been dead for how many years? Plato, all them been dead for how many years? Right? We talking about individuals who done. We talking about Harriet Tubman. We talking about Sojourner Truth. We talking about other people who, we still talking about Albert Einstein. We talking about, theory of relativity. We still talking about Sigmund Freud. We talking about all these individuals, right? And they've been dead for how many years? Educated individuals who helped change society, right? They didn't care about the watches and the jewelry. They had their shortcomings with women, and because they were women, some of them were, but we knew their goal was to help change society and build society up. What I'm saying is that, popularity doesn't really get you to the history books. It's what you do. It's how you change a community. It's how you create social change, right? Mm-hmm. You may have your issues with Barack Obama. You may have your disagreements with Barack Obama. But I'm gonna tell you like this: who as a biracial president, because he's biracial, right? Because his mother was white, his father was black, he was raised by his mother and his grandmother. Who as a biracial president that got a recession in his plate, dealing with a war, trying to build and then when he left, he built the economy up. And he did that, and he won a Nobel Peace Prize in 2009. Who and he set the branches of leadership. His wife is considered one of the top 3 greatest first ladies in the history of this country. His name is in the history books, right? He is ranked in the top 10, if not the top 7 greatest presidents of all time. Because what? How he handled leadership, how he educated himself. Now, there's some policies you may not agree with. There's some things he probably done did. He it's the president. He's a human being. You may not agree with everything. But we talking about leadership and what he was doing. Of course, I'm not going to deny that. Like I told y'all from the beginning, when we talking about politics, I was just reading Black Studies. I just read it was chapter 14 and 15. When we're talking about politics, African American political thought, and Frederick Douglass convinced. And this is somebody who didn't have a college degree, but he's self-taught and read and write. And he got his information when he was seeing what was going on. And this was during the Civil War. Lincoln was focused on the Union. And Frederick Douglass had to convince Abraham Lincoln, to have black men fight in the Civil War. Even Frederick Douglass convinced his son to fight in the Civil War, right? And to eradicate slavery. So what happens? After he did that, slavery was over. 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, and 15th Amendment. All that passed. Dr. King was a pastor, PhD in systematic theology. But civil rights, 1964, Voting Rights Act, 1965, and housing, 1968. So, of course, you've seen those pioneers. You have to learn those information. And that comes from not just reading what you learn, but doing a background study, right? And see what those sources come from. And when you see where them sources come from, that's when you learn the truth.
All right, Vernon.
Hey, so speaking of, right, you touched on it a little bit more, but I think we didn't touch on it a little bit more. But the question is, why do our votes matter? So I can read for Biden in 2020, right? 92% of black individuals voted for him to help him win the election. So I think that speaks upon itself for some of why our vote matter. You know what I'm saying? So going deeper into it, like you said, there is some conspiracy theories that say, hey, the vote don't matter at all, like you just said. But to challenge that conspiracy theories, what would you say, why deep down does our vote matter? You touched on it a little bit though.
I mean, I think people forget about, like I said, it still goes back down to education. We had congressmen and congresswomen during the post-Reconstruction era.
Yeah,
congressmen, black congressmen during the post-Reconstruction era. Forgive me if I say about the women, but we had black congressmen, and people were voting. I think I have a problem with when we surround ourselves with just thinking that white supremacy exists, racism exists, classism exists, the isms exist. It's not going anywhere. It's not an excuse for you not to do your part. Every day, we got to do something that not only better ourselves, but better the next generation. The black community is a special community. All communities are. I'm particularly talking about my community because I'm a black man and I can relate to the black race because that's what I was raised. I think sometimes we have a tendency of listening to individuals who are anti-black. And when I say anti-black, you don't have to be white to be anti-black. Yeah. We sometimes listen to people who are ignorant in a lot of ways, and not putting ourselves to think for ourselves and understand ourselves. If you keep listening to what people say, you ain't gonna never learn nothing because you don't have your own voice. You're not gonna have your own mindset. But you can listen to somebody and still do your own research. Why do our vote matters? Because we as a people vote for particular reasons. We don't waste our vote. And nobody should, but historically for the black community, our vote, sorry, I'm under the weather, been under the weather for all week. Our vote matters, right? And it's been being suppressed. It's being oppressed, right? It matters for us for centuries and from generation to generation. What we need to do instead of saying why we don't need to vote, we need to say, what can this candidate do for us? Now, like I said, going back to the 2024 election, it's between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. We know this. A lot of black people is not going to vote. They're just not, right? For various of reasons. One, Trump is in trouble. Two, Biden didn't really do nothing for us. Three, the war of Israel and Gaza, right, and Ukraine and all that. So it's unfortunate that those situations. It's very unfortunate, but it's beyond our control.
So, not to cut you off, right? So we saying that I listed the individuals who else that are running behind those two individuals, but from what you're stating, you're saying those two going to be the last two to run. Biden.
Well, Biden got the nomination. That's and nobody going to, huh?
Yeah. Sleepy Joe and
he gonna get the nomination. Trump gonna get it too. Trump gonna get the nomination.
Yeah. So if right now, is it a possibility if we cast our vote for individuals such as Cornel West, what is it, Robert Kennedy Jr.? I've seen a lot. I've been looking at a lot of information on him. If we say, you know what, hey man, we're gonna come together and we're gonna cast our votes on these individuals.
It's funding,
huh?
It's funding.
They need funding.
That's the biggest thing. They got to get the funding.
But none of them have dropped out yet. It's like four people dropped out, but they haven't dropped out. It hasn't been solidified that they're done. You get what I'm saying?
But also too, they haven't registered to be. I don't think they're registered Democrat.
No, they are independent.
Right. So we never. What's the last time we had an independent president?
Yeah.
Along those lines, you know, it's always been Republican or Democrat.
Why do you feel like that is?
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people say we should get away from those two parties. We're not. Yeah. It's not the party, it's the people in the party. I keep telling people that. It's the people in the party. It had nothing to do with those parties. You can't blame a party for messing up democracy. No, blame the people in the party, right? I was telling someone the other day, like, man, I would never be a Republican. You mean, I'll never be Democrat, man. I'm independent, man. Those parties are they don't do nothing for us. You mean the people in the party? Because the party ain't do nothing to you.
Yeah.
It's the people in the party who's doing that craziness.
That's a good way to put it too. Because people I hate Republicans. Like there's like you say, they'll never be a Republican or a Democrat. And it's like it ain't the party. That's just the people in the party are making those things happen. So that's a good spin.
But you know, it's a trend too. Have y'all noticed? It's a trend with everything. It's all about division. So I'm gonna give you two individual parties and have you pick a side, and go against each other. That's just go ahead.
Yeah, and like Vernon was saying, some people are ride or die. Like it don't matter what, it don't matter who you put in that chair. They gonna go. Their vote always is gonna be. It's like football teams almost. But that's like I'm from this state and I gotta represent. You know, no matter what, no matter who they put on the team, no matter what happens, no matter if they lost 7 years in a row, my vote my vote is always going to be for, and they're going to defend it to the teeth. Like they're going to defend it. It's a little, it's wild. Yeah, it's a little wild.
You see what happened with Nancy Pelosi's husband back in 2022.
Yeah,
somebody broke in her house, and that intruder hit her husband with a hammer, scratched his skull a little bit. So
and go ahead. My bad.
It's political violence. Political violence is increasing. We are anticipating that this election, if Trump doesn't get in, there's going to be a civil war. It's always studies that Republicans believe that we need to have a civil war to change a lot of things about this Constitution, about everything about the country.
Yeah, it almost started. You see what they did.
I mean, January 6th was just an appetizer.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you like this: if it was number of black people did that, you would have seen a different conversation.
You already know what
right?
Man, they all would have been in prison.
Yeah.
Not even that. Probably making the prison. It'd be a grave site.
Yeah, about to say. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It'd be a massacre.
None of those people got arrested. None of those people, they just walked out free.
Well, some did and got right out.
Well,
no, I'm not saying. I'm saying it's the same day. They ain't not. They how you storm there and how you storm a government official building and just walk out. You did not only storm it, you destroyed it. You ran over security,
and somebody got killed.
Well, 4 people got killed.
Yeah,
somebody. And then there's been thousands of arrests. There's been hundreds of sentences. Like I'm talking about harsh. I mean, big sentences too. I'm talking about. I ain't talking about no 5. I'm talking about
for sure.
15, 20.
Which is right. Yeah.
I think the founder of Proud Boys, he's Afro-Cuban. He got 33 years. And Trump is calling them hostages. Political individuals who are political warriors. But I'll say this: like when we're talking about things that we're seeing right now in this country, we're not moving forward.
Yeah,
we're not.
Yeah.
We're I feel like both parties need to meet middle ground. Like I said before, it's hard for me to take both parties seriously in the Senate and the House when you can agree upon TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy as hell.
The all issues that's going TikTok. On right now.
TikTok. But that's, man, that don't make no damn sense, dog.
I'm talking about we got issues on top of
issues.
We got war going on, and we got
homeless people right outside.
Yep.
And you over here talking about TikTok. Come on, man. Like, so I said to myself, like, it's what an app gonna do to us?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, what China and everything. China ain't think about us, man. China focus on science and education on their TikTok.
Yeah.
Anything
their TikTok is not even the same.
Right. Yeah. So they don't deal with our American TikTok. They don't deal with that. Like, so, and it's on a time limit too. They TikTok on time limits. So I always tell people this, like when we talk about certain things that's going on, like we need to have those conversations. We do. Yeah. We talk about, we need to tell people why their vote matters, right? Yeah. It's your voice. Why we should go out here and educate people in the public, right? And not even that. If you want change, go in various areas and advocate for those change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not just, in the criminal justice system, which we need. Go to healthcare. We do know what's going on with us in healthcare, especially with Black women. Black women have high rates of immorality. Childbirth, situations with that. Healthcare, public and private insurance, resources. We need that, right? Go to education, resources for schools, books, healthy food, neighborhoods. We need to organize.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about organize as in like try to be a movement. I mean, try to be a popular movement. We need to organize that's going to benefit us.
Yeah.
Right.
And not something that's temporary. We do stuff for temporary. All right. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, it's just, I'm gonna just do it for right now.
The hype. They get the hype around.
Do it for hype, and then we don't do the shit no more. Man, I'm reading this book about Florida, bro. It's something that stood out to me in 1876, right? It says since the Democrats had every use of every available weapon, including terror, murder, fraud, and statute to disfranchise African Americans from voting.
What book is that?
That's the one I'm reading right now, The Emancipation Betrayed.
Let me go ahead and get that book.
Bruh, so I'm reading this, right? And I'm like, damn, God damn, like they did everything they could back then to stop us, right, from voting. And I'm like, that should be, once you learn about history, when you start learning about history, that's a good reason for us to go our vote matters, to know why our votes matters, because they went to extraordinary extensions to stop us from voting. They went just to stop. And individuals like, okay, nowadays, it's Donald Trump and his what, Sleepy Joe. You know what I'm saying? My bad, Joe Biden. That's voting. I mean, that's probably the two we got to vote for. He say, hey, do you want to stab yourself or do you want to kill yourself? But when we look at it, it was like, okay, how can we say if we came together? We're like, you know what? We all voted for Cornel West, right? Would that vote matter? Would you believe that? Would y'all think that vote would matter if we said, hey man, we like what he stands for. We did us research on him. Everything by him. You see, he gonna fight for our community. He in the community. He's walking around. You know what? We gonna cast our votes. You know what I'm saying? For this individual. Would that possibly make a difference and be like, okay, that our vote matters and he can be a possible individual to run? Do y'all think so?
No, I'm gonna tell you why.
Because of money?
That, and look at the age group. Who 18 to 25 know about Cornel West?
Yeah. For real. A lot of us ain't nobody Sleepy Joe neither. We just knew he was the vice president of Barack.
Well, yeah. Like I told a lot of people, which one you knew first, Donald Trump or Cornel West? Donald Trump.
Yeah, because he was on TV.
Right?
Nah, because he even in the rap industry, people was already talking about him.
Yeah, the rap industry.
I want to be rich as Donald Trump. They were saying, they always. That's where I found out.
You know the crazy part? During that time, right? He was bankrupt.
No, he used bankruptcy. He used it to his benefit. That's the thing with the rich. They don't.
He said, "I use y'all rules against y'all."
Exactly. He didn't.
Well,
he wasn't.
He said that. He said that when the debates with Hillary. But yeah, Donald Trump. I mean, there's a lot of people don't know who Cornel West is in our age group.
Yeah.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And he got health, issues that's going on with him because he had memory loss because the situation had worm in his brain.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, he had cancer. He had throat cancer too, so he barely can speak well. But Cornel West, not a lot of people know who Cornel West is, and I do know Cornel West. He's not going to get, and who's going to basically support him?
That's what I was going to say. You need a big supporter.
Yeah, he's going to endorse him. If Barack Obama got you, go ahead.
And that's what I feel like when you're going for that's the thing with politics. When you're going for the right thing, it's like you ain't gonna get a lot of support. You gotta, and that's what politics is all about. Like you gotta rub shoulders with some people to get to where you want to get to, and they gonna be like, you gotta have my, because they're funding them. Like you gotta have my best interest. Like you gotta make sure you're doing something for me, and I'm not gonna be funding your campaign because these people fund millions and millions and millions of dollars to fund the campaign. And like he was saying, like you got to get the support. And to if I'm gonna support you, if you ain't getting no votes, like you said, who 18 from 25 know him? So if I even have the millions to put for you, it's like I'm gonna be throwing my money away if you don't get no traction, get no steam. You ain't, you end up dropping out. It's like a waste of money. So it's like people they want you to get in there for, the money follows you because you got their interest in mind. You're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna put something together for you. You in the auto industry, you in whatever industry, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do something that support you or get you something, So it's like it's a dangerous game. It's a dirty game, man. And you gotta, and to be the politician, you gotta play it.
Yeah. And do y'all feel like, because you're saying the way you gotta play it, do you feel like that causes corruption within politics?
100%.
Yeah.
When I have to get money from people, and it's like I want to win, but I need money to win, and this person like, I'll give you money, but you need to do this. Of course, come on, man. That's how it goes. That's why they don't want to give athletes these money, because it's like, all right, well now you You know, and that's why even sports betting, I don't want to get off topics, but it's like now when you make it legal, it's like, how you know? It's like enough money going towards this way. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's bound to change the game. Of course.
Yeah.
You take this fall, you can get this whatever, this money, you know, money is I don't believe it's a root of all evil, but it definitely can make some people do some things some questionable things. So not to get off topic, but it definitely is the cause of corruption.
Yeah. And so, moving on to the next question. I just want to give some statistics real quick. It said just over 61% of the federal government workforce identifies as white, while 18.2% identify as black. These figures are higher than the overall percentage of Americans identifying as white, 59.3%, and blacks 12.6%. So another fact, there are 58 African American representatives and 2 African American delegates in the United States House of Representatives, representing 29 states, the Virgin Islands, and the District of Columbia. So it goes to my next question, right? Would be after giving those statistics, and Vernon, you can give from your knowledge as well. Do we need more black politicians? And do you feel
we need more diversity? Period. But if you're talking about us as a culture, we need more politicians. But the question is, we need more black politicians who on the right path, who know what's going to benefit us. Right? We keep saying we need more black people doing this. We've been saying that we're getting the wrong ones.
So we need to be selective.
We need a selective, good quality that can benefit us as a community.
Yeah.
Right? We got people who be doing certain things and saying certain things, don't even know what the world they're talking about. And then lead the whole black community, can lead a lot of us astray. And I think the thing about it is that the representation of us shouldn't be stupidity. It should be us as a community and being brilliant and learning on everything else. Just like we should hold, white politicians accountable, we should hold our own people who's in politics accountable too, right? And I mean that from the heart because, like I said, I'm not saying we should, talk negative and down them, but we need to have conversations with them too because they got to get our votes too, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I feel that what is representing us? Because I'm seeing now people from people who don't have a background in political, and that's another thing too. Certain things need to be required for you to have a background and for you to run for office. You need to have a minimum of a bachelor's or a master's, because you need to be educated in a lot of things, man. You can't go off theory or just go off. You need to have degrees behind your name. Because it's funny, when we get hired for a job, they're going to ask you your educational background. So you mean when you get hired for a political office, taking care of millions of people, you shouldn't have degrees behind your name? Something is not right with that. So you need to be educated. We do need more black politicians, the right ones.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
Just be the right one. And if anything, if you are a black Republican politician and a black Democratic politician, you, red and blue, get in the middle and work with each other.
Yeah.
That's one thing I never understand about those two parties. You two parties are just so busy being enemies. Don't you see you divided this whole country? I never understood that. In 4 years, y'all couldn't agree on nothing. Nothing that could have benefited us.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, TikTok. They did. TikTok.
They agreed on that.
That's crazy, man.
So, like I'm saying, man, I'm not even on TikTok.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, I'm like, so you come on, you need to meet middle ground, man. Like, you guys have a conversation and talk. Put your egos aside. Your ego is not helping us, it's hurting us.
Yeah.
People are frustrated. People are frustrated. We are frustrated. You represent us. Aren't you tired of Americans there's a lot of Americans who take their country seriously. They want to have a better future for their family, their friends, their children, especially parents. They leave this world. They want to make sure their children's going to be taken care of politically.
Mm-hmm.
And we owe them, especially the people who serve this country. We don't do nothing for the military. We don't even do nothing for them.
And even the military, you make it so hard for the veterans to get their benefits when they get out. You know what I'm saying? And that causes depression, and you know what I'm saying, anxiety.
They serve this country, and you still and you don't want to give them their dues. You don't want to give them, their appreciation.
Man,
yeah, you give them a purple star. Give them some benefits that can help them.
Yeah,
give them
that they'll be okay for the rest of their life. Good
for the rest of their life. For the rest of their life, you don't know. Some of us don't know what it's like to go in those different countries, seeing people get bombed up, seeing people get depraved, all these things that was going on, right? They don't even know they're gonna see their family again. Life is happening over there, right? They got to help people. They got to to protect their own troops. You don't know. We ain't never experienced that.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, we need to take care of each other first. America first, man. Take care of us. Yeah. We need to take care of us. And I think black politicians need to collaborate with other politicians who agreed on the same lines and reach out to the people who don't agree on the same lines, schedule a meeting, and you guys talk. I'm sick and tired of people telling me, I ain't gonna talk to him, man. He's a Democrat. I ain't gonna talk to him. He's a Republican. That's going against the political code. Since when we had a political code?
Ignorant, man. That's ignorant.
We need to get rid of those political codes and collaborate and see that, you know what? How can we help Americans?
Yeah.
It's not the United States of Democrats. It's not the United States of the Republicans. It's not the United States of the independents or the progressive. It's the United States of America.
Yeah.
That means all.
Yeah.
Not some. Not majority. Not few. Not many. But all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, and we say that we got all this division and we going against each other, bro. Don't they know this? And with this word, they can't agree on nothing, like you said. But have you been checking out global warming lately?
Like, they ain't thinking about global climate change. They ain't thinking about, and it's getting hot. I can't even grow back my hairline. It's hot.
you don't see what we literally are destroying the world, and they don't care. The egos get involved.
You're about South Brazil, right?
What happened to South Brazil?
The floods.
Oh yeah.
You got earthquakes.
I seen that. Yeah, I seen that.
You got earthquakes. You got people in different countries got how to get a big old bucket of water pour over themselves. That heat is something that's gonna be a hot summer. Not even that. You know when it's hot and the water gets warm, especially in the ocean, what happens?
Oh yeah,
hurricane.
We're gonna have a this may be one of the hottest summers. We're gonna have a lot. Hurricane season gonna be
hurricane, and on this side, earthquake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hurricane season gonna come. Volcanoes already erupting.
Yeah.
Lucky Florida don't got no volcanoes. Let me know so I can move. So like I said,
it's already hot enough. Walking outside, I feel like you're in the volcano.
I walked outside, man. I thought I took a shower because I was sweating. Like I tell you, man, it don't even make any sense. Like, so I think we have to really have those conversations, and people need to be in tune. I think probably people think we focus on one thing about us. We focus on get money by any means necessary, and not being aware by any means necessary. And I think money and politics go hand in hand. I'm gonna tell you like this, and I tell you like this: you can get money, but you better value your life because you don't have one life.
Yeah.
You may have money, but you don't. If you lose that life, you ain't gonna be around to spend it.
Yeah.
So I always
your health.
Tell people this all the time. I mean, I learn this from all the time. Just because you rich, you're gonna have the same problem as me because we both humans. The reason why I said it is you ain't gonna be no different, you ain't gonna be no better. Because at the end of the day, you may have the status, but we go through a Great Depression. Good luck.
Yeah. And I want to my bad. I want to clear something up real quick. speaking on this question, do we need more black politicians? I didn't add Hispanics, but we can say Hispanics and things like that. But one thing that I've noticed, even being looking in the workforce and things like that, right, and outside looking in lately, I noticed that Hispanics do something that we don't do, and then we had an episode of nepotism before. Hispanics take care of their people, but me going to law school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me going to law school, I was probably like in the class. I probably was. It was two of us out of probably 60 students. Two of us, right? Two African American black individuals, and then they had foreigners in there, right? But they going into law to learn about how to protect their people. You know what I'm saying? So they going to immigration. You know what I'm saying? Immigration route to protect their people. And I feel like we don't like I said, I didn't mention it because I feel like they take care of their people. They're gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, they people good. They got that culture of that. Like, yo, I'm gonna make sure, hey, I got the job, I'm gonna put you on. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But with us, we don't do it. Like we go in there and we become corrupt, just like police officers. You get black police officers. Some of them, they go into the academy, come out, do their thing over there, come out, and they thinking being just like them. I done got treated worse by a black police officer. You know what I'm saying? One time, like, I'm like, golly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, why you acting like that? At the end of the day, I'm not asking you because I'm black to give me no special privilege, but the tactics that you're using to come off of me, they illegal. And you doing the same, you know what I'm saying? You just picked up the same bad habits that they have. And I'm like, so if you're gonna run for be a politician, you're gonna actually do and want to make a difference. Don't pick up the same bad habits and bullshit that the ones that you see corrupt that we sit on the outside and talk about, or the individuals that we're talking about on this podcast, and do the same thing, because that's insane behavior. You see, the shit ain't changing nothing. So I just wanted to clear that up before we moved on to the next question. Liv, if you got something to say about this question. You got something, Liv?
No, y'all good.
Okay. So moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. Say, will having more politicians from our community benefit us or our kids? So we already talked about, you know what I'm saying, what it should look like, what they should do, and things like that. I feel like you said, yeah, it would if we got the right individuals in there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter what they look like. We have to have somebody that's, and I think sometimes too we get too caught up in what they look like instead of what they represent or what they're trying to do. We're too caught up in what they ain't from our community, they ain't from our hood, they ain't from our neighborhood, or we too caught up in that instead of being caught up in what are they trying to do for us. How are they representing us? And like you said, it would be better. It would be beneficial for somebody that looks like us to be representing us, but sometimes you don't get that. So you can't, stop trying to look for the first black person and look for somebody that's like you say, do your research. Who's trying to help the community? Who's trying to look out?
Who actually getting in the community? Yeah,
exactly. And that's when we say, if we're saying like, would having more politicians from our community, it's like, would the politicians that care about our community? That's what we need to, who cares about our community? Who cares about our kids? And that's the people we need to like that we can benefit from. Would that, would it be great for that person to be from that community? Yeah, it would definitely be like icing on the cake. But the most important thing is are they representing, our community and to our benefit.
Yeah, I also too. I just want to add that we talk about politicians and it's good, but we also need to talk about professional individuals, professional men and professional women that will help benefit our children too, right? People who are physicians, doctors, educators, teachers, people who are anthropologists, sociologists, economists, lawyers, all of them, alongside the politicians. And, if they are around living in the black community, that would change the black community in a significant way, and also give children an opportunity to see people, educated people, living within their communities instead of living in upper middle class or elite classes. But we need to have more educated people who look like us. I always tell people, the hood is just an environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an environment, right? If you lead the environment, you got to lead the mentality right there. You can't take the mentality there. You got to leave it, right? And the hood doesn't determine your identity. You yourself does.
Yeah.
It's point blank period. There's a lot of people who come from those environments don't even act like that. You don't even know they came from that environment. And it's people who didn't grow up in an environment and try to be like those people from that environment. It don't even make sense. So be yourself. Always live honest, always stay true, and always be you. So if I always tell people that, when we're talking about we're having more politicians from our community benefit our kids, it's the truth. So I mean, we do need that, especially with young black men and black women coming up.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Liv, you want to close us out, man? You got anything else?
Nah, man. I appreciate Vernon. Appreciate you again. You definitely dropping a lot of knowledge, especially for me. So I know the listeners. Getting in. So I appreciate that. Appreciate your expertise. And yeah, man. Appreciate you coming on and supporting because everybody got things they got to do. So to come on and do what you do and you got a passion I'm sure everybody can feel like you got a passion for what you do. You got a passion for your knowledge and wanting to help people. So I just want to say I appreciate you for real.
Anytime.
Most definitely. And I think me and Vernon got something in store. You know what I'm saying? That we putting together that I think the people gonna like. You know what I'm saying? Liv, I'll tell you about it. It's something. It's been years and years of planning. So now I think it's time to go ahead and do it and get it done. But yeah, man, appreciate you, Liv, coming on. You know what I'm saying? I know what time it is over there.
10:30.
10:30. It's your daytime over here, man.
It's night and it's cool, so it's way better.
Oh, it's cool over there.
AC on full tilt. I'm like, man, this thing. I was in the house. I'm like, this thing ain't cut off all day. Then I went outside. I was like, okay, I see why. I see what's going on.
It's hot out there, boy.
That heat ain't that heat got the AC in the chokehold, boy.
Oh Lord,
it ain't letting it go.
Turn me off.
Yeah.
But, hey man, we're gonna be on again next week. We're gonna shoot for Friday next week. Next week topic, we're gonna go to the one that everybody been wanting to hear, with cheating. So so we gonna go into that one, then we gonna slowly plan. Oh, there go my brother Lord in the background. He said I'm in the background. Y'all see him?
No, I don't see him.
Oh, he in the comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, we're gonna come on. We'll bring you'll be back next week. I think he at work right now. But most definitely, y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Like I always say, have love, peace, and a solid mind, man. We out.
Niggas flying ball, when that people get involved. Go broke, on your phone or ring the most. When you get to the top, that when they lay the most. Out of everybody in the world.